Hey y'all, I am back at school, but I'm gonna go ahead and cast another game that I got. And this one's starting off right away. So it looks like it's between Ally and For2ity. Ally does plays blue, and he's a really funny guy. He usually comes dressed up to tournaments and stuff as some kind of soldier. Um, and he's a big gun dude, but so he is very good. And then For2ity, who we did see, who made it to the finals in 2009. And so scouting with a roller, that's a good shot from Ally there. And as you saw, he did adjust his power after he decided to use the roller because you want to aim short with the roller unless you're on a valley situation, in which case you would really want to aim higher. For2ity just throwing away that first shot, and you really want to make your scout at least give you the chance to adjust, but he's gonna be forced back so far from these attacks from Ally that he doesn't really know what he needs to do to scout, and he is not in a good position. And Ally, of course, taking out this early that's not enough power dropped for Magic Forest, and it looks like it is not going to cover the turret, so that is an absolutely useless Magic Forest, well, almost absolutely useless for For2ity there, and he's not playing well. So Ally gonna hit with the zap. Ooh, barely missing with the zapper. When you're scouting with a zapper, you do want to make sure that you don't shoot over. Well, this is more of the case that For2ity is so far over to the edge, and a direct hit from the hot foot, so that's good. So he was able to adjust from that Magic Forest very well. And the flying discs coming in, and that's generally a pretty good attack in this situation. However, if a flying disc does go off the screen before it shoots its laser, it is completely wasted. So For2ity going to go with the Stardust here. Um, because Ally does have a pretty good shot on him, but Ally is gonna probably be able to bring it back to where it was. Most of the times pro players can recover very easily from moves like that, and that is they're more effective when you're playing casually. So Mystery Bomb's coming down, and that's pretty powerful shot, but one of them does hit. Mystery Bombs, of course, don't follow. Oops, I got a text message, excuse me. Mystery Bombs, of course, don't follow exactly the path that you shoot them. And that was a flare, I believe, and pretty decent. Ambush is an odd choice here because the far shots are not going to be able to hit, although, to be completely honest, there's not much else that he could have done. So another hot foot, and For2ity coming back from that very poor first couple of turns, and now we're tied up at exactly 196. The bouncy dart coming down from Ally, remember, does not do damage. That's an odd move for me. Maybe he was just making sure that he can actually hit For2ity because he's running out of attacking moves, and For2ity with that lava going to be doing a ton of damage. Lava is a very, very good attack, and just blowing away just swooping up with the lead there, 458 over 196. And so funnel, of course, does not do damage, and neither do jump jets. So Ally 100 powering jump jetting as far as he can. He's going to try and hit with this super laser, but the game is basically over. And the funnel, yeah, I mean, a super laser doesn't do that much damage. You can't come back from being 250 points down with just the super laser. So he's going to move a little bit, shoot a funnel right in front of him, and this game is already over, but this is a best of three, so we'll definitely see who's going to win. Ally playing very well. And just one thing, well, I've got a minute that I wanted to talk about is that I'm really sorry I can't. I've been having a lot of trouble with the replays, with the sound, because the guy I get them from, he records them on his Mac with iShowU HD Preview, which is also what I have. And then it's funny because the little logo stack, and sometimes it like glitches out. I'm not gonna buy it. If anyone knows of a really good screen recording software that's free for Mac, I would love to hear about it. But anyway, but he sends them to me as just a video file, and I just have to open it up full screen and record it with this pretty. It's a good program, but the demo's not very good. So I don't have the sound, and I'm sorry about that. And I could, I guess, add like music or something over my voice, but when I'm listening to commentary, I usually prefer for there not to be like a song in the background. It's kind of obnoxious to me. But let me know what you think. So anyway, back to the game. Mountain, hill kind of situation here. ally with that roller, or was that a heavy roller? I wasn't actually watching or reading. Going to be scouting out well, and he is looking to be in pretty good position. An odd, I think, when did he lower his angle? It looked like it. And ooh, poor heat seeker from For2ity. For2ity not starting off very well in either of these matches, and he's really going to have to um, work with that. Ooh, aggressive superstar coming in, and that's a very good superstar. That first star, of course, colliding, and these other two going to be doing an enormous amount of damage. Superstar, one of the best moves in the game, because it has the potential to do so much damage, and that was a great situation for Ally to use that in. So he's going to be pulling out with a very early 174-point lead in the second volley, and the single shot a little short. So For2ity, again, his scouting is just not doing well tonight, and Ally is taking very good advantage of that, as well as putting him in this terrible position. And another ambush, and that's an odd angle and a lot of power for that ambush, but coming in and doing a decent amount of damage. So ambush, not a bad choice by any means. The whiplash, and this is pretty good, and that was probably the best he could have hoped for, because honestly, if he had more power, it wouldn't have done as much damage. It would have shot more off screen, and he doesn't know what he needs to do to adjust. And the static ball coming in and actually getting 30 damage. I believe when it explodes, it does 30 damage. So usually, if you get a direct hit with a static ball, you'll do 10 and then 40 total. If you can bounce it around enough, you can get as much as 50 or 60. So static ball is a good move, I think. I like it. Now the meltdown coming down a little short, but is he going to? It looks like he might be able to drop his. He needs to mess him up a little, and he's gonna fall. Oh, he slides all the way down. So Ally gets put in a poor position. That didn't do any damage, but at these high altitudes, you don't expect meltdown to really do damage as much as just throw your opponent off. So he's gonna be forced to recalculate and going to 95 power, which is something that you only see in a very tight spot like this. And the Sonic Blast just a little high, 100 power, and he would have had that, and he does know that that's what he got to do to hit For2ity now. And this point discrepancy is just incredible. This set of weapons much better than the last one. The last one had a lot of funky stuff at the end, and there goes the hot foot, and a little bit of damage, a little less power would have really helped out. But Ally, oh, and that's an odd choice for me. You don't want to shoot a stinger with that high of an angle, because it does come back and hit you, and it spreads out so much. So, but I mean, positive damage increase for sure, but a funny play. For2ity going for the nanobots, and that's going to be doing an awful lot of damage. Nanobots are very powerful, and especially with a direct hit, so that's good for him. And both players are now more out in the open than they were. Ally preferring to keep his angle, even though he could probably move back and change it, just because he's got such a good shot. For2ity going to be moving back, and he's going to have to adjust a tiny bit to make sure he hits, going for the Sonic Blast, and oh no, one more power, and that would have been very good, doing maximum damage and probably keeping him in this game. But after this, we've only got 3 volleys left, and I just don't see this going For2ity's way. The rock slide coming down, it's not going to block off the turret, or else I assume he would have used it earlier. But doing a solid amount of damage, and For2ity falling further and further behind, and he really only has a couple attacks left, and he cannot do the damage he needs to do. So pincushion, a lot of damage, but he's still 100 points behind. And 3 glue guns left to go. Here we go. And so here's the first one, a little short, but really glue gun just does not do enough damage for it to matter. There's the other glue gun, and this game is over, because even though that was as direct a hit as you can hope for, you can see only doing about 20 damage, not quite even that much. So, and here comes the last glue gun from Ally, and he will take this game by a handy 120 points. And the bazooka going way off into the sky. So let's move into game 3. And 2 Earth movies. So this is going to be an odd game. And a Super Tracer, and I think I saw an Island. So yeah, Island, and so not a bad weapons pool. These weapons aren't bad, but they're just non-aggressive, and way too much power on that. But at least it was a Super Tracer, and he knows exactly what he needs to do. And Gluestorm as well does not do damage, so a ton of non-damaging attacks in this game. Just a funny weapons pool. Snowballs is an odd choice for me, but he did manage to pull it off, 86 damage, and blocking out ally, forcing him to recalculate entirely. So not a bad play, but For2ity just doing some weird stuff here, and he used to be so good at this game, and he just doesn't seem to be quite the player he was. That fracture is also an odd play, and it doesn't do much. For2ity in base mostly the same position he was. Glue bomb coming down. That's an awfully early time to be using that attack since it doesn't do damage either. Wow, I'm just realizing that For2ity only has 5 or 6 weapons that even do damage. So he's going to have to make every single one count if he wants to take this game. Snowballs did a decent amount. But he needs to really, he can't miss. And Chaos Grenade coming down, that's a very good shot. Chaos Grenade, it's hard to judge where you want to put it because it's so random. Obviously, it's the Chaos Grenade, but you need it to explode somewhere above them, quite a ways above them, so that it can drop everything off and cause as much havoc as you can. Glue Storm coming down, I suppose the reason for that is that he does not want to blow himself out of the dirt, and Glue Storm is kind of just a stall turn that he can use, so that hopefully ally will blow him out of the dirt. And actually going for the island, and well, that's actually an incredibly good play. I don't know if he meant to do that, but forcing For2ity to make this awkward shot, because when you have to shoot at such a high angle but not go very far, it's really hard to judge. So For2ity in a poor position, but again, the points are mostly even. Fireball coming, oh no, so hitting that glue, which means it won't bounce, and so Fireball completely wasted. And if you remember, I was just talking about how For2ity can't waste any of his weapons or he'll lose this game, and it's not looking good. And bounce, 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 big damage from that Fireball for ally, and he's actually playing extremely well using the island to great effect, and as well as that Chaos Grenade, and then that Fireball, and then the nuke. Odd play and not enough splash damage. Splash is turned on to medium in pro games, and so just not quite reaching ally, and that's an odd play. And For2ity just looks like he's a little flustered, just not playing well. The Ground Shocker coming down, not doing damage, but going to be lowering him and causing him to have to readjust once again. For2ity just can't get a good shot off in this match, and he needs to be careful because he might so that's a good shot. Firefly coming down. Firefly is a very powerful attack, but only two Fireflies only damage for For2ity. So ally just in just such a much better position, and For2ity just not playing well, and very poor weapons pool as well. There goes the flower power, going to be doing a huge amount of damage from that direct hit. And look at all those 5s floating up to the top. So For2ity, I just don't think he can come back from this. If he hits all of his attacks, oh, the hot roll's bouncing back, but of course they are not going to catch on fire, and so we're not going to do damage. But, well, he's only 160 points behind, so I guess theoretically he could come back with what he has. And that napalm, very poor, hitting that little peak in the middle. I think that's a magic wall left over from the Chaos Grenade, as well as a dirt cone. So I'm not sure. Oh, and that lava cannon hitting it as well, and then completely missing. He needed to angle up on that. He needed to get a direct hit. I think this game is over, even though ally cannot do any more damage. Rollers do not do 160 damage, so this game is over. So For2ity gonna lose to ally, who he generally performs very well, but not at the championship level like we've seen For2ity do. And Zero Power Earth Movie to just end this. And so anyway, yeah, go ahead and leave a thumbs up or a comment if you like this game, if you like my casting, if you want me to do more. And so yeah, I'm more coming in the future, especially over winter break. So I guess I will be signing out, and have a nice day.